welcome to a brand new episode of TV Talk. I'm Sarah Shevenock, and today, in celebration of International Women's Month, we are going to be talking about some TV shows that are girl-centric and girl-powered. Alright, our first show that we will be discussing is a relatively recent one, and is probably one of the most recent ones on our list today, and that show is Supergirl. Now, of course, Supergirl premiered last year on CBS before moving to the CW, and is one of the first female-centric of CW superhero shows. And basically, this show focuses on Kara Zor-El, Superman's cousin, who was originally sent to Earth to protect Superman. However, her ship was caught in a dead zone in space and delayed her arrival by 20 years. The show follows Kara throughout the trials and tribulations of being a superhero and being a woman in modern America. The show just had a lesbian storyline featuring Kara's adoptive sister, which is great because we want to see representation of all sorts of relationships on television. In addition to that, the show also features a lot of pro-feminist storylines. Kara works in the media industry for a woman who's the head of a newspaper, I believe. So lots of women in power, lots of good things like that. It's currently airing the second half of its second season, and the first season can be found on Netflix. Our next show is another one of the new ones, and this show is Full Frontal with Samantha Bee. This show is currently the only one of the late-night comedy shows that features a woman for the host, which is a little upsetting. Even more upsetting, Samantha Bee's show only comes on once a week as opposed to every weeknight, but hey, this is progress, so we'll take what we can get. She consistently delivers funny political commentary, and people obviously enjoy it because the first season of her show has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty darn fantastic. The show just started airing its second season this past February, which is great, and we hope there are many more seasons to come. Before she had her own show, Samantha Bee was the #1 contributor for Jon Stewart's The Daily Show. That's where she got her start. She did a lot of funny things on there and has a very unique perspective on America and American politics, even though she's Canadian and actually just became a US citizen. This past election in 2016 was the first one that she voted in, and she has a lot to say about that if you check out her show. If you're into funny women talking about politics and American culture, definitely check out Full Frontal with Samantha Bee. This show airs Wednesdays on TBS at 10:30. This next show is a classic that we have featured here many, many times at TV Talk, and we featured it that many times for good reason. This show is Parks and Recreation, starring America's favorite politician and favorite feminist, Leslie Knope, of course played by Amy Poehler, for 7 seasons. I mean, Leslie Knope is perfect. She supports girl power. She supports equality for women. She supports women in leadership positions. Like, this show is such a girl power show. It's incredible. And what's interesting to note is when Parks and Rec first aired, it had a very short first season, and a lot of people didn't like it. And one of the main complaints was that people felt that Leslie was too ditzy and wasn't a strong enough female role model. So the producers and writers took that into consideration and did some work on Leslie's character before heading into season 2, and she became the strong female TV character that we know and love today. But in addition to Leslie, there are also several other prominent female characters on this show which have great arcs and are perfect examples of girl power too. You know, you have Ann Perkins, who has one of the best friendships ever with Leslie Knope, which the two of them are just a great example of positive female friendships where they're always supporting each other, and yes, they may have their fights and disagreements, but in general, they love and support each other and encourage each other to follow their dreams. You also have April, who kind of starts out as an apathetic teenager who's just volunteering at the Parks Department, and Leslie just wants to inspire her, but April's having none of it. But over the course of the show, you see April develop into this confident young woman who has goals and dreams of her own, largely inspired by Leslie. You also, of course, have Donna Meagle. Donna is just so sassy and is just so secure in herself that it's incredible to watch on Parks and Rec. One of the great things about Parks and Rec is that Leslie doesn't always succeed. There are some times where things don't go well for her. It shows that she's able to pick herself up, move on, and come out of these hard times stronger than she ever was before. Some of the most classic feminist episodes of Parks and Rec would have to be Pawnee Rangers and Galentine's Day. In Pawnee Rangers, Leslie becomes mad that the Pawnee equivalent of Boy Scouts doesn't offer opportunities for girls. So she decides to create her own version of Pawnee Rangers called Pawnee Goddesses. And in the end, everything about Pawnee Goddesses is just so cool that all the boys want to join Pawnee Goddesses, and she lets them because Leslie Knope sees everyone as equal and wants everyone to have equal opportunities. And of course, Galentine's Day, everyone knows about it, everyone talks about it. A holiday dedicated to celebrating the awesome female friendships that you have in your life, which is what we need to do. We need to support other women and be kind to other women, and Leslie Knope gives us the opportunity to do that. Parks and Rec is currently streaming on Netflix, so check it out even if you've seen it 100 times. Our next show that we are going to be discussing is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary on March 10th. Wow, 20 years already? That's incredible. This show centers around Buffy, who's a slayer who is in charge of guarding the world against witches, vampires, demons, and other creatures. This show has incredible female role models. Buffy is really smart, really tough, and relies on her friends. One of her friends in particular, Willow, is a really smart, sassy, fun lesbian witch. The two of them go through high school and college together, so they have this really strong friendship. And their journey is really relatable because they're dealing with the same things people our age are dealing with, but it just has that like supernatural element to it. The show is also really cool because it featured a lot of women of color as slayers, which wasn't something that was probably seen on TV 20 years ago. And who knows, maybe Buffy is what paved the way for all of the awesome female role models we have on TV today. If you want to check out Buffy for the first time or relive some of the best episodes, it is streaming on Netflix now. So now we're going to shift to talking about some animated shows, and one of these is Kim Possible, which, to be honest, everyone at TV Talk had forgotten about until our lovely station manager, Kara, reminded us that this is one of the ultimate girl power shows. So thank you so much, Kara, for reminding us about this. And if you don't remember it, I mean, call me, beat me if you want to reach me. This was like the thing of the early 2000s. It focused on Kim Possible, who was your average high school student, went to high school in some town in like the Midwest United States. But she has a secret. She is a super spy. She and her best friend, Ron Stoppable, and his naked mole rat, Rufus, team up to fight crime and go up against supervillains like Dr. Draken and all those different people. Disney initially developed this show because they felt that there was a hole in the market where there were not a lot of girl-powered action shows on television for young girls to watch. And the creators of Kim Possible were actually inspired by their young daughters. They wanted them to have TV characters to look up to who were awesome and really cool and did lots of cool things. Kim Possible combined lots of elements of retro cartoons, super spies like James Bond, and also some female-driven shows that we talked about earlier, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Kim Possible ran for 4 seasons and had 2 Disney Channel original movies based off of it. In fact, Kim Possible had the first animated Disney Channel original movie of all time, so that is pretty cool. If you want to relive the glory days of Kim Possible, you can find episodes and maybe even the movies on YouTube or the Disney Channel app. Occasionally they'll post some episodes on there, so be sure to check that out. And our last show is also a classic animated show, and this show is the Powerpuff Girls. The Powerpuff Girls originally aired on Cartoon Network from 1998 to 2005. The show follows 3 crime-fighting sisters, Bubbles, Blossom, and Buttercup, as they, keep the city safe and fight crime all before dinner time. The Powerpuff Girls' arch nemesis, Mojo Jojo, creates their main rivals, the Rowdy Rough Boys, who are super masculine and just hate everything girly, and the Powerpuff Girls and Rowdy Rough Boys have several conflicts throughout the run of the show. This one is another awesome classic to check out. It's great nostalgia, throwback to our youth. I'd probably go for the older episodes because apparently the new reboot is just not as good. Currently, the Powerpuff Girls are not streaming on Netflix, but there's sure to be reruns on Cartoon Network or other channels like that. So if you look carefully enough, you'll probably be able to find them. Thank you so much for watching this episode of TV Talk. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, WMTV 1693, and check out all of our social media accounts, our website, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.